Got rolled over 8 seed Oklahoma with an 87-71 victory yesterday to advance to the Sweet 16. The Bulldogs are now 28-0 on the season and have won 32 straight dating back to last year. And in a field full of Cinderellas, upsets, and bracket busters, Gonzaga is starting to look more and more like an unstoppable force as the tournament enters its second week, and it has been quite entertaining to watch. So glad we got it back. Shannon, would you take Gonzaga over or the field to win it all right now?
Well, everybody better be, because everybody else bracket is like mine, trash right now. So with all the upsets, Skip, so basically I got Gonzaga winning all, and that's the only thing that can give me, that can save me from being a total disappointment, is Gonzaga winning the tournament. Skip, look, they're the most complete team in the field. Only 2 games this all season have been within 5 points of the final in the last 5 minutes of the ball game, and that's what you gotta hope. Skip, a team like this, you got to get them late into the ball game and have it be close. We saw what Duke did to UNLV, Skip, when they were trying to go back-to-back and they were undefeated.
I was there.
We saw what Wisconsin did to Karl Anthony Towns, Kentucky. Yep. We kept it close and then give ourselves a chance. That's what you got to do with this team. They didn't play particularly well. It was the lowest shooting percentage from the field, Skip, and they got 87 points and they won by 16. Oklahoma shot 50% from the floor, and they lost by 16. So they played their best. You play your best, you can't beat them. You got to play your best and hope they're having an off night. Hope you get the game close within the final 5 minutes and make them execute every single possession. But it hasn't been like that, Skip. They're up 20 points. They celebrate dancing, and then your guy did dirty yesterday. Pushed the man, Skip. That was dirty pool, Skip Bayless.
It was.
Is that what Oklahoma, is that what y'all got to resort to? Is that what you got to resort to? You told me yesterday.
We play football.
Oh, you're a football school. Yeah. You're a football school now. But Skip, the Zags, because of the way they're constructed, 2 seniors, a junior, sophomore, and a freshman.
Yep.
They got the experience. They got the elite level talent at the Jalen Suggs. So they're going to be a difficult out. I'm taking them. This is the old Tiger Woods, Skip, when he shows up and he's in prime. I'm taking Tiger versus the field. I'm taking Gonzaga versus the field.
So you just compared Gonzaga to Tiger Woods at his mightiest.
No. I don't know, but Skip, USC got me feeling some kind of way after what I saw him do to Kansas last night.
So you're a little iffy about your Gonzaga versus the field.
Had USC won by, say, like 5 or 6 points, I was like, oh, yeah, we got them. Skip, that was Kansas. So
you are relying on the chalk of chalk.
Yep.
To save your bracket.
Yep.
Because Gonzaga was obviously the number one overall pick, right?
Yep.
And speaking of chalk, there's Rock Chalk Jayhawk, and they got rocked.
They got rocked.
Whoa, did they get rocked by USC. But first to the Gonzaga game. I will remind you, my Oklahoma Sooners basketball team had lost 5 of 6 going into the tournament.
Yeah.
So they were hit and miss. They had a hot streak for a while, and they were giant killing, and then they just fell off the map. And Austin Reeves will get his, because he's a kid from Indiana who can just score the basketball. Yeah. He got his 27, but Brady Manick, who's a senior from Harrah, Oklahoma, and I always had a lot, he's 6'9", he can shoot it. He went 1 for 8, and he was going to have to score his 25 for them to have any chance. But to your point, Gonzaga did not dominate them defensively because they were scoring pretty much at will. They just couldn't keep Gonzaga. And Jalen Suggs, I give you, he is elite. He is a stud among studs. But speaking of studs, I had Iowa coming out of there because I had Iowa beating Gonzaga in the regional final. And I completely underestimated the Pac-12. Yeah. Because here they come. Kaboom, 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 kaboom. 4 of them, 2 Oregons and 2 LA schools, they're way better than I gave them credit for. Because Oregon just took apart Iowa. And my man Luka, the real Luka Garza,
he got his, Skip.
He got his 36 and 9, but he had no help and no assists, so nobody else could get involved. And Oregon was just better. They're just like, everywhere I look, they're just better, 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 better.
Right.
So Oregon went 14-4 and won the Pac-12. USC went 15-5 and barely finished second in the Pac-12.
Oregon State won the Pac-12, I think. Didn't Oregon State beat
Oregon? No, Oregon did. Then Oregon State came, they won the tournament.
Yeah.
They got hot late. Oregon State was 11-12 on February 20th and just took off.
Yeah, Oregon won the regular season.
When I watched them the other day, I said, God, because they took out my other pick for the Final Four, Oklahoma State, and they just look better. They just look deeper and better. And I said, my God, what is going on here? And then last night, USC had Kansas down 40-21 at halftime. These are the mighty Jayhawks.
Yeah.
This is a team that the final score was 85-51. That was by 34 points. That was the third worst loss in Kansas history. And the second worst was in 1974. And the first worst was in 1900. So you can imagine this was all-time humiliating for this program. And it was a mismatch because on the boards, it was 43-27 USC. They were bigger, more physical.
Yeah.
They look better coached than Bill Self's team. I know Bill's teams have had a lot of trouble in the NCAAs, but it's because they get giant killed by a buzzer beater. This was a wipeout, right? So are you sure that USC or Oregon, now they have to play each other, and it's a pick-em game. It's pick-em. Well, one of them's going to come out. I would give a slight edge from what I saw to USC, but it's a coin toss to me. Well, one or the other is going to give Gonzaga a game, I promise you.
Well, they better get it close, Skip. And the thing about Gonzaga, Skip, even though their conference player of the year, Kerspit, Skip, he didn't play well. But then you get Drew Timme. You get Jalen Suggs.
He's big and strong.
And that's the thing, though, Skip. So all these other teams, their best player has to play well every game or they lose.
Okay.
Gonzaga's best player does not have to play well, and they can still beat you by 20.
All right. So let's say that Gonzaga does get past USC or Oregon.
Yeah.
Okay. They got to get past Creighton first, but they're favored by 13.5. So I'm assuming you got. So
we're in the money.
Yeah, you got the genius pick. You picked the number one overall. I got it. You went way out on a limb with that one.
No, I didn't go.
You know your college basketball.
No, I ain't go out on a limb with that one, Skip.
Okay. So if they get by USC or Oregon, then they have to play the winner of the East in the national semifinal. And I have Alabama coming out of there. But now I'm a little skittish about this because Alabama has to deal with UCLA. And we saw what UCLA did the first night to Izzo and company and sent them to a big tailspin, right?
Yeah.
UCLA is big and strong and skilled. And how they're an 11 seed, I have no idea. But I will say this. After I watched Alabama just terrorize Maryland yesterday or last night, Alabama, my pick to win it all, is the deepest team in college basketball. They come in waves, and this coach, Nate Oates, who they just gave a big extension to, he is going to become the next superstar coach in college basketball if he isn't already.
They defend. They get out there.
And they can shoot it from everywhere, any way you want to shoot it. They can drive it or they can three-ball you.
Can you get to 80? Because if you can't get to 80, you can't beat Gonzaga.
I would like their chances against Gonzaga, and I hope it gets there. I hope that's the national semifinal. But my team has to get by UCLA. Then Michigan plays Fuller State, and they'd probably have to get by Michigan.
You know, the Zags done beating everybody. You know, that's Steve O, my guy.
Yeah.
That's his alma mater, so he feeling real good about it.
Okay. All right. Fine. So in the South, I picked Arkansas. Arkansas's got Oral Roberts, and I love watching Oral Roberts. They're fun to watch, but I think Arkansas can win that game. I watched Baylor the other day, and I watched them a lot during the year, and they had COVID issues and were gone for 3 weeks. They're potent.
I don't know, Skip. You be playing these church schools, and man, things divine intervention be happening.
Well, Loyola Chicago.
I'm like, I don't be wanting to play y'all.
Okay, but Loyola Chicago plays Oregon State in the Midwest.
Yes, hey, and they got the nun. What's her name?